proper medical services, so access to protection and proper medical services is limited for the forest workers. So you can see that right away from the word go, it is very hard and very limited for the for the forest workers to be covered by medical insurance. Why? Because their nature of work is not protected by the laws. And because of their nature of the work is not protected by the laws, it is very hard for people to protect them socially. If you were the president of Malawi, what would you have done to make sure that forest workers are protected and forest workers are given medical insurance in this country? What would you have done if you were the president to protect these forest workers?
You can put them on
medical insurance.
If something happens
Remember, you're a president. Remember, you're a president. And you cannot just say things. What would you have done?
Oh, like something is
it has to be to deal with the law. Yes. Yes. Because you are the president, you cannot just, say things to say, okay, can you bring this under medical scheme, under medical insurance? No. It has to pass through the parliament. And make the parliament has to pass an act, and this act must be signed by the president to become a law. Yeah. So that is the first step that you can do. You can bring a bill, okay, through ministers. Bring a bill into parliament, and let parliamentarians discuss about it, and then pass an act, and this act comes to you as a president, and you sign it, and it becomes a law. Yes. So it is very important that we, as human resource managers, we lobby with the parliamentarians about such an employment sector, which is informal. And therefore, much as it is informal, they deserve to be protected socially. And they deserve even to go to the hospital for treatment. Okay. Again, the work environment. These workers often work outdoors, yes, sometimes in remote locations and types of weather. We've already covered that. While most, no, this is already done. Don't worry. Yes, yeah. Okay, let's come to bonded labor. Bonded labor as another sector. Bonded labor as another sector. Bonded labor as another sector. Bonded labor, also known as a debt bondage or peonage, occurs when individuals give themselves into slavery. As security against a loan or inherited debt from a relative. Is it happening in Malawi, brother? Whereby you sell yourself, you give yourself as a slavery, in security against, as a security against a loan. You are given a loan, about 4 million, and then you give yourself to say, if I don't pay this loan in such a time, you will take me up as a slave. What about in Zimbabwe? It happens. Yes. I have, in Malawi, I have seen, caterpillar. Yes, caterpillar. Caterpillar, it has come to a point whereby I saw someone in Blanda, after one has failed to pay, and he had almost like nothing to give to the caterpillar guy. The caterpillar guy went straight and grabbed a child and said, this child is going to be mine until you pay back the loan. Yeah, so it is a bonded labor and it is always an organized labor. It's always an organized labor. So, yeah, it is happening. It is happening. It is happening. Yeah. However, it is not happening wide openly. It's happening in a secret form. In secret form. But this one who has got a loan has nothing to say. Because he got money. Millions of kwachas. And therefore, he's failing to pay. And if he's failing to pay, what would the owner do? Simply to get someone there and put someone into slavery. Put someone into slavery. All right. I remember in the Bible, there was this widow who had nothing, and then the debtor was threatening her to say, I'm coming to take your child. And then this woman had rushed to a man of God and then say, I'm in danger. My son will be taken away from me because my husband had a debt, had a loan, and therefore he failed to pay the loan, and I have to no longer manage to be able to pay the loan. So what should I do? And then the man of God say, okay, what is it that you have in your house? No, we have a small oil. Okay, go and get the oil, and go and get all the jars, and then pour that oil. And then the oil, was flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing until there was no any other spare jar to put the oil. And then the oil stopped. From there, then the man of God said, okay, go and sell and then pay back the loan. And then the remaining from it, you can survive, you and your son. So it was happening. It is still happening today. Yeah, so here is how it works. Debt and brutal condition. Initially, a worker starts with a debt to repay, often in brutal conditions. You don't just get a loan without a purpose, do you? Yeah, you get yeah. then you are in trouble, definitely in trouble. So you get a loan and then you promise to pay it. Okay, that's number one. Then the employer adds additional expenses like shelter, food, water to the debt while the worker labors. What does that mean? Employer adds additional expenses like shelter, foods, water to the debt while the worker labors. Okay, maybe it's a verb. While the worker is working. Then repayment becomes impossible, leading to permanent enslavement. So if like, for example, Katabira, every month there is an interest. 20% of that principal. Another 20% of that principal. A principal is always added. Yeah? Every month the principal is being added to. Almost every day.
From the day you're supposed to pay,
Yes.
maybe they'll give you maybe after a week. If you don't, they'll increase.
then they give you more and more and more interest. So we are saying, this is how it works. In the end, one fails to pay back. That's why it is very dangerous to get such kind of loans. And please make sure that you don't get into this trouble. You'd rather go hungry for that particular day because you don't have money. Not borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. In the end, yes. You become a slave. You become a slave. You become a slave. Good. What are the impacts? The impact is that debt is sometimes passed down from generation to generation, resembling historical cartel slavery. In Malawi, are we slaves in Malawi? Are we slaves ourselves? Yes or no?
In terms of what?
Economically? Yeah. Yes. Economically, we are. Economically, we are. Because the more debt we have with these giants, the less kwacha will come powerful. Or the more the kwacha will be is devalued. Okay? So the more we have the debt, the more the kwacha is devalued. So every time we borrow money, your kwacha is going down. And then you become a slave. Because every time you try your best to pay back the loan, at the same time, to minimize the devaluation part of it, of which becomes very difficult. And then they will come again and say, what is it that you have done? Sorry, we haven't paid this. Can you please forgive us? So no, we're not going to forgive you. Devalue your kwacha again by 60%. You devalue the kwacha and you still become a slave. You want to borrow more. The more you are devaluing your kwacha, the more you want to borrow. You know, something like that. And you become a slave. I tell you, we Malawians, probably Africans, we shall never come to a point whereby we say it's no longer borrowing. We are not going to borrow any money from anywhere. I understand Botswana, they have got now a big stone for gold. It has been discovered now. It is a big stone. I don't know how big it is, but a big stone of gold. But out of this big stone, will the Ghanaians, no. Is it Botswana? Will the Tswanas be able to benefit from that kind of gold? I doubt. Because they don't have processing machines. You know, they'll get the stone, get it there in America, in England, wherever, in Europe, and they process it, and they'll come back, they'll bring back that stone to the Tswanas, and they sell it to them. That's a problem.
And they'll sell it to them?
Yes. Well, it has been processed there in Europe, and they'll charge the processor's fee. They'll buy the stone from the Tswanas, but at a low price. And then they bring it like tobacco. We are the ones that are producing tobacco here in Africa, in Malawi. And this tobacco is shipped outside the country. And then it is brought back here in terms of cigarettes, in terms of whatever medicinals, and so on and so forth. And we are paying huge amount of money, yet the production of raw materials is done in Africa. Yes. So we have all the raw materials here, and we are rich as far as Africa is concerned. We are rich, but we will not get there We will continue to be slaves as long as as long as we don't have means and ways of processing the raw materials. The raw materials. Are you dreaming one day to become economically independent? I doubt. I doubt. So it is passing from generation to generation. So your forefather and forefather and forefather were slaves to the Europeans, to the British, whatever. Until now, we are still slaves to that. Because we don't have means of getting money. You know, we enjoy, they are the ones that gives us money. So employers force children to labor to pay off their parents' debt. And it has come to an extent that in the food industry, in the tobacco industry, you see young ones doing the farming. Young ones doing the farming, and I tell you, you cannot separate to say, no, because you are young, please stay at home. No, they are going into the farm. All they are doing there is at least to do some work and get some money, but that money is often going to the masters, the Europeans, the British, and so on and so forth. So it has become an organized sector. Vulnerable migrant laborers as part of the bondage. Migrant laborers are particularly vulnerable. Migrant laborers are particularly vulnerable. Agencies and employers exploit initial debts and making repayment impossible. Legal documents may be confiscated, leaving workers dependent. Okay? Let's talk about our friends that have gone to Israel. These are migrant workers, okay? What is it that they're going to do there? Israel. They work in the farms. What kind of work do you think? Is it a simple work? It's not a simple work. It's not a simple work. And these guys, I tell you, they are vulnerable. They are vulnerable. They cannot choose for themselves what to do. I don't know nowadays, but in those days, okay, in the earlier days, the agencies were getting their money. They were pocketing their money. And they were keeping that money in the name of keeping it for them. And say, this is the only upkeep that we can give you. The rest of the money goes into their pocket. The agencies and the employers in Israel. Up to the point now that some of the Malawians said, no, enough is enough. Why should you get the money while it's us, meanwhile it's us working in the field? So I understand the Minister of Labor went to Israel and started discussing about such issues. So at least nowadays they are able to get the money, but they are getting the money after they have already deducted taxes, their air ticket that they've used, and so on and so forth. Because these agencies, they get money every time, okay, every month from these laborers that they are employing from Malawi. they're employing from Malawi. But at the same time, Malawi government is also benefiting, isn't it? Yes, it's also benefiting. And they are saying, you guys, here is an account. All your monies must be put here in this account. Why? 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 It's because what they want is to have a good forex in the reserve. Eh? Once they have a good forex in the reserve, so these guys, they're putting money there, but then they're paid in Malawi kwacha here. And they are not allowed to just withdraw anyhow. There is a limitation. To say you can withdraw your money up to this level. You can't go beyond this. So that there is a reserve in the forex account for Malawians. When they come here in Malawi, it's when they are going to be given back the money, but in Malawi kwacha, not in US dollars. Yeah, so there is now a profit there for Malawians. Taxes are deducted, blah, 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 blah. So these guys are vulnerable. They are vulnerable. Legal documents may be confiscated, leaving workers dependent. In other words, when you go there to Israel, yes, that's what it means. They take your passport. So you even your movement is limited. Your movement is limited. When you are there, you are not allowed to get any other job apart from farming. Some guys dared to get into the restaurant and work there. They were arrested. Yes. They were arrested. They said, no. This is not the work that we brought you here for. And therefore, you have no choice to do any other work apart from farming. So that's their vulnerability. They don't have any choice. And if you've been employed by this master, you have to, work, for that master for your period of time. I don't know if 1 year, is it 1 year or 2 years?
3. The contract is 5 years.
The contract is 5 years. Oof. So you can imagine, you work with a cruel master for 5 years. And in those 5 years, you have no choice. You must remain with this master for 5 years. That's a vulnerability. You're vulnerable. Because if they were given a chance, for example, to say, after working with this one, if you're not happy with him, you can move to another master. You can move to better. But no. If this master has employed you, he has employed you. And we're using agencies. We're using agencies. When the British and the other Americans were buying slaves in Africa, they were using agencies. So these agencies would bring their fellow black into the European countries. And there they will sell them to say, okay, here's the labor you can use. So that's why America today is rich, because of you and me. Okay? Immigrants. So they are really vulnerable. Our people are really vulnerable there. You think it's a good way to go into migrant labors? Because even our girls in Malawi, they have been promised some jobs somewhere else. And pakati hapo, there was a rumor to say our Malawian girls are really, really suffering in other countries because they've been promised to do some studies there, but instead of doing some studies there, they are in prostitution, which is very bad. Global prevalence. Bonded labor exists worldwide, especially in the areas of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nepal. And India has the highest number of bonded laborers globally. India is more or less like Africa. India is more or less like Africa. But so far, India is the highest number of bonded laborers globally. Yeah. If one borrows money, then a son is given out, a child is given out. In Africa, can you think of any country that is more than any other African countries?
In Africa?
Yeah. Any other country that is using more of the bonded labor? What about in the war countries where there is war? Do you think people are sold out to others for labor? Do you think people are getting into this slavery? Like in Sudan? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. People are always sold outside the Africa, outside Africa. Okay, good. Let's come to scavengers. This is the last sector as far as unorganized sector is concerned. Unorganized sectors are concerned. So according to the definition of a scavenger, we are saying that a scavenger is an organism that primarily consumes decaying biomass, such as meat or rotting plant materials. A scavenger is an organism that primarily consumes decaying biomass, such as meat or rotting plant materials. An example that we can give of an organism that is primarily consuming decaying biomass, such as meat or rotting plant materials. An organism. Yeah, yes. The blackbirds. Exactly. Kwangwala. In Chichewa, we call it kwangwala. This is an organism that eats decaying stuff, like meat or rotting plant. Any other one? What about the hyena?
They do.
Hyenas, they do. Okay? They always go and eat these.
They eat people alive.
Hyenas? Yeah, they can eat, of course, but normally they eat rotten stuff.
So maybe they will kill you.
Yes, and you live there to rot. Yeah. So like any other animals as well. So these are called scavengers. They always go for this rotten stuff and they eat the rotten stuff and they are known as scavengers. Still, in our unorganized sector, we have people that are scavengers. We have people that are working in this sector as scavengers. So in the context of municipal solid waste management, MSWM, scavengers are part of the informal recycling sector. They are a part of the informal recycling sector. They engage in the extraction of recyclable and reusable materials from mixed waste, contributing to waste reduction and resource recovery. Have you ever been to area 6 Miles? Have you ever been to 6 Miles? At 6 Miles to your right, as you go to Blantyre, there is what we call Ntaya. Have you ever heard about that? Okay, there is Ntaya, where people will dump the waste. All the waste that are here within the city of Lilongwe is been dumped there. Okay, now, if you go during day hours, what did you see there?
There are people who try to get our things.
Yes. So such people are known as scavengers. You get another point, eh? Yes. They are now scavengers because they are taking the rotten stuff or the things that have been thrown out, the waste, and try to recycle them. So that kind of labor is a scavenger. Okay? So these days, if you go there, they are no longer, okay, they are just collecting rotten stuff like meat. You know, if you go, I don't want to mention about Bandilo because that's where you always get your food. But in Blantyre, we have Ntaya known as Kachere. So these guys would rush to Kachere every morning because there are different vehicles coming there. So some of the vehicles that would come there, they would bring rotten chicken. Yes. And then they would grab those rotten chickens.
So even if I wanted, they also do that.
What? I don't know. No, I'm not saying that. That's why I didn't mention Bandilo. I've mentioned Blantyre, Kachere. Well, that's the area that I know. So we'll go there, take those rotten chickens or dead chickens, fly them and sell them again to the people. So when they say Kanyenya, you must be very careful because you don't know what you are eating. You may be eating something that has been thrown, something that has been rotten, and so on and so forth. So such guys are known as scavengers. They're trying to recycle the waste.
In town, there's this place, you find them frying a lot of chicken. So now it's making sense. I've never eaten one.
You have never eaten. Yeah. So you must be very careful. You must be very careful to eat such kind of things because you don't know where we are getting the chicken from. Yeah. So if you go again to these 6 miles where there is Ntaya, these days on top of collecting rotten stuff as well as bottles, they are also getting the soil itself, because such things, they become soil. They are getting the soil itself and sell the soil to different farmers to apply in their gardens. Okay? So those guys that are also collecting soil, they are also known as scavengers. Because they're simply recycling those waste. So they're contributing to waste reduction and resource recovery. So when they are producing, when they're getting manure from there and put it in the garden, it is a resource recovery. And I understand also there is another company which is making bricks out of plastics, and these plastics are collected from the same area. All the plastic things, any plastic stuff, they collect those and make some bricks. So Those are also scavengers. Scavengers. Importance of scavenging. Scavengers collect items such as plastic bags, bottles, papers, carbon, cardboards, and cans. Their work primarily operates within the informal sector, providing economic opportunities and reducing waste by diverting materials from landfills. From landfills. From landfills. So that is one of the importance of scavenging. They are operating within the informal sector, but they are providing economic opportunities. So those guys that are very dirty when you go to Area 6 in Taya, they are very dirty. Every time you meet them, they are very dirty, but they are making money. They are getting money. They have, they bring the food on the table using the monies that they make from scavenging. Because when they sell out these bottles, when they sell out these plastic bags, when they sell out the papers and cardboards and cans, they make money. They make money. Make money. If you go up Matanki, Apopo, just a few meters from the Petroda, you find that the people are putting bags, these broken bottles. Have you ever seen such people? In 50 kg bags of broken bottles. Yes. Where do they bring these broken bottles to? Where do you think they bring these broken bottles to? Okay, they are bringing it back to the factory to process it again. To process it again and then make some bottles, more bottles, and so on. So I understand that some are even exporting such kind of broken bottles. Yes, in big trucks, If you go there, you'll find these broken bottles. They are in 50 kg bags. They can fill this room. Yes, they can fill this room. So these such kind of people are also known as scavengers because they are using the waste and recycling them, and then it brings economic opportunity to them. At the same time, it reduces waste. It reduces waste, okay? Yes, it reduces waste. Nowadays, if you go to entire area 6 miles, there are few flies as compared to the past. Very few flies now. But in the past, because we have a church there close to Tyre, I tell you, you could sit here in the church, so many flies. Very, very, very unhealthy. But these days, at least you can enjoy the service without, you can see some flies here and there, but not as it was before. Why? Because of the scavenging. There's a lot of scavenging taking place at this place now. This place. So it reduces waste. It reduces waste. It reduces waste by diverting materials from landfills. What are other importance, do you think? What are some of the other importance? What are some of the other importance? Come again?
What scavenging?
Yes. Yes. We have talked about economic opportunities and reducing waste. What are some of the other importance, do you think? Okay, just think about it. Global impacts. Informal sector activities, which is including scavenging, are prevalent in the global south, like less financially developed regions. These waste pickers play a vital role in resource management and sustainability, even though they often operate without formal recognition. They play a vital role in resource management and sustainability. They play a vital role in resource management and sustainability. They play a vital role in resource management and sustainability. So this type of scavenging is often happening here in the developed countries, in the developing countries, okay, in less financially developed regions. So in other words, in developing countries, okay? Is Malawi a developed country?
No.
According to other people, they said we are at number 5 from the lowest. We are at number 5 from the lowest, the poorest. You see? So we are included there in the financially developed, in less financially developed countries. So in this country, like Malawi, the issue of scavenging is everywhere. Is everywhere. However, these pickers, waste pickers, they play a very good role in resource management and sustainability. You know, like if these wastes that we're talking about here, if they were left at entire 6 miles for years and years and years, cholera would have been an issue. Cholera would have been an issue. Yes, yes. So they are at least they are doing a good job. Why? They are managing the resources and sustainability. Not only that, the plastics that are thrown there finally would end up into rivers, would end up into other places, and then the whole land of Malawi would not be taken care of well if we had no scavengers. So scavengers are there to help us to manage our resources and to sustain our soils. You have heard about people that were selling these small plastics bags and they went to court, but then they lost. But another group have gone to court to stop, not to stop, but for them to continue making these small plastics. I don't know what the court has decided now about that. So our scavengers are readily available so that they can take away all these waste plastics. Did you see this one? Okay. Okay. So that's the assignment number 1. With relevant examples, evaluate the human rights challenges of unorganized labor. So what are the challenges that are there in unorganized labor? Okay, so you must evaluate based on the things that we've mentioned. Come again? Yes, yes. Another assignment. I understand this assignment is supposed to come after the mid-semester. Yeah, but still you can start writing. You can think about it now. Okay. I had this problem here. I simply wrote of unorganized but it should be an. All right? Yes. Yes. The impact of an unorganized labor, meaning that this an is unorganized labor. I had simply unorganized labor without the UN there. And then I saw, oh, this is a mistake. Yes. Yes. So correct that one. Correct that one. Yes. Yeah. Of an unorganized labor on the Malawi economy. Okay, good. So that is for those two assignments. And then let me see if we can have, I'll save it. Okay, let's see topic number 3, management of unorganized labor. But then we'll be talking about employees in small and medium enterprise. I'll just introduce to you what we will cover in this one. And then from there, we can call it a day. Employees in small and medium enterprises. Employees in small and medium enterprises. What do you understand by SMEs? Sorry. What do you understand by small and medium enterprise? Yes. I'm just seeing the signs, but not the expression. Mm-hmm.
Not so huge companies,
Yes.
like maybe in supermarket,
Yes.
sales stations.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So these are small and medium enterprises. They're small businesses. They are not big businesses. They're small, very small businesses. Probably up to maybe 10 employees. Yeah, they're not big businesses. Not much. Not much. Okay? However, there are also businesses within that which are big companies. Big companies. Like, for example, construction workers. So we'll be dealing with these A, B, C, D, E, F, G under small and medium enterprises. So in construction workers, we have these construction workers being employed by small and medium enterprises. You'll find that a contractor is having at least 20 people. And then within the construction work, okay, the contractor and construction is sometimes used interchangeably. So the construction work itself, for example, a building like this one, how many small and medium enterprises would be involved in a building? In a building construction like this one, just one room like this one. Yes, name them. Yes, name them.
Like the 4 businesses that can happen in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe photo studio.
No. Constructing a building like this one. How many small enterprises will be involved in the construction of this building?
This whole building is also.
Yes, the whole building, or one building, like here, this building. How many small enterprises would be involved Mm.
The construction.
Yes.
I am not getting the question.
Okay. In a building like this one, this is a construction industry, a construction work. In a building like this one, there are few small and medium enterprises that are going to be involved. Number one, the builders themselves, the bricklayers. Number two, the electricians. The electricians are not bricklayers. They have their own firms, their own companies. And so these companies are subcontracted into the construction work. And we have plumbers. Plumbers they have also their own firm. They are subcontracted into the construction work. And we have carpenters. Carpenters are also subcontracted into the construction work. So 4 people are involved in the construction work. So these are small and medium scale enterprises. They're not big. They're not big. Okay, my brother used to work, and he's still working, with another small and medium enterprise as an electrician. So he goes into areas where construction work is done. For example, here, do you have any construction work that is done apart from the roads construction that are happening? Any building which you see? No, here. At as you go just about a few meters from here, in M1 or along M1, there's a building here. Yeah. What's the name of that one?
It's close by Shtubu.
Yes. Yeah, opposite Petroda. So, in that building, you will find that there is an electrician available there. So every step of that construction, every step of that building, electrician is there to put some pipes. What? It's about a 2, 3, 4 floor. So these floors, electrician must be there to make sure that pipes are put up to the last floor. So in the construction work, already there are 4 small and medium enterprises that are involved in that particular work. And then in the mines and quarry workers, in those days I thought quarry working is not a mine, but it is also a mine. Yeah. In the mine and quarry workers, you'll find also some small and medium enterprises there in the mine and quarry workers. I don't know where this area, is it Nanjiri? Yes. Nanjiri, past Nanjiri, there is Natenje. After Natenje, you turn to your right, you'll find that a stone is been mined to get quarry from there. So that is also what we call a small and medium enterprise, whereby some people, that's the only job that they have, just to take quarry. Issues of mining, like mining gold and so on and so forth. I know a friend of mine who is a pharmacist. He's selling medicine, but he has joined the mining company. He has opened a mining company, and he's doing mining in Zomba and Mangochi. And he has employed about 5 people just to do that kind of mining. And what he's doing is to allow the locals, the locals go into the mining, do the work in mining, and they buy from the locals about that. However, these are licensed ones. These are licensed enterprises, small and medium enterprises. They cannot just go there and buy gold without that license. And then we have what we call farm tenants. We looked at the tenants last time. This time around, we talk about farm tenants. These farm tenants are also what we call small and medium enterprises. The government of Malawi is talking about mega farms, whereby people are now allowed to farm on a large scale, so that at least Malawi would be hunger free. Issues of fisheries. If you go along the lake, we have so many companies that are doing fishing. Some are local, some are small, medium enterprises that are doing the fishing there on the Lake of Malawi. So those that are doing small and medium enterprise in terms of fishing, they follow the rules and regulations. There are times when you're not allowed to fish, and there are times that you're allowed to fish. Yes. Issues of migrant workers in shops and commercial establishments. If you go to South Africa, you will find ShopRite there. You will find the game there. You will find the other so many shops, and you'll find Malawians working in such shops. You have games in Zimbabwe? Yeah, shops, game shops. ShopRite, but not Chipiko. Chipiko is for Malawians. Yes, so you'll find these migrant workers in such shops, and we'll be talking about their payment. The people that are working in such shops paid equally, or there are differences in their payments. I know the sugar company in Salima. You know, this was a Chinese company. Okay, it's only nowadays that Malawians have taken over. It's only now that Malawians have taken over. So we are saying that the shop owners, the migrant workers from China paid the same amount of money as the people in Salima. So you find out that the people that are coming from China are paid more than the people in Salima. Abwana china chijande pacha mwezi wata tikatenga bentawina. Kabana kutsate ni nyamada ikuti atengirete. Okay. Yeah, so you'll find out that the people that are paid from other countries, sometimes those people from other countries are paid more, sometimes they're paid less. It depends on their working conditions. And commercial establishments. We will also look at those commercial establishments that are there, that accommodates migrants from people from other countries. We also talk about relevant acts and legal provisions. Relevant acts and legal provisions. What's the spelling here? It's not right. I don't think that's the correct spelling. It's legal provisions, okay? Yeah. So relevant acts and legal provisions, it should be S. So we'll be looking at the different acts that covers small and medium enterprises. When we talk about acts, we're talking about laws that have been passed by Parliament. Yeah. And then legal provisions also talk about the same acts, how small and medium enterprise covered in the laws of Malawi and other countries. Accident risk and work. Accident risks and work. Accident risks and work. This will talk about social security and social measures. So we'll be looking at how are people in the small and medium enterprise covered